Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today the New York Jets have signed free safety Adrian Amos, and surprisingly, not really surprisingly, the New York Jets have added in another former Green Bay Packers. Might as well start to think about changing their name to the New York Packers. No, I'm just kidding. Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Amos. I'm sure the next one's going to probably be Mercedes Lewis because that was on Rodgers' wish list. We saw Aaron Rodgers say that he wanted some of his former Green Bay Packers teammates like Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Mercedes Lewis to join him in Green Bay. Mercedes Lewis is still a free agent. I wouldn't be surprised if potentially the Jets maybe sign him as well if they haven't already, and I just don't know about it. But the New York Jets have signed Green Bay Packers free. Well, he's kind of done everything. I mean, he's played strong safety, he's played free safety, he's played regular safety. So, he played strong safety in 2021 and played regular safety this year, and then it kind of was always kind of changing when he was in Chicago, because he was in Chicago from 2015 to he was in Chicago, got drafted in Chicago in 2015 in the 5th round, and was a strong safety his first year in Chicago. In 2016, his second year in Chicago, was a free safety. Kind of switched off every single year. And then back to strong safety in 2017, and then back to free safety in 2018. Then I don't know if he got signed or traded to the Packers in 2019. His first year with Green Bay was a strong safety. Well, his 3 years with Green, he was never a free safety with Green Bay. He was a strong safety from 2019 to 2021, and then switched to regular safety in 2022. So he's had a really solid career in his 8 NFL seasons. Something he's never really, he's always started. I mean, he played 126 games in his 8-year NFL career, and has started in 122 of his 126 games. So he started 122 of his 126 games. This is a lot of games, and most of them have been starts. Only non-starts he's had is one game in 2016. He played 15 games in 2016 with 14 starts, and then 2017, 13 games with 10 starts. So those are the only seasons he's not started every single game. So he has started every single game for the Bears and the Packers since 2018, and I really wonder if that's going to carry over to the New York Jets, because the Jets added in Chuck Clark a couple of months ago. It was that was the first trade of the offseason, one of the big first moves of the offseason. They added in Chuck Clark for like a 5th round pick, and he was amazing for the Ravens last season, and right now he's expected to be the starter. So they also have Jordan Whitehead. I would wonder, because Adrian, they have, and if you look at the depth chart for New York, they have the starting free safety being Chuck Clark, and then behind him Adrian Amos. I wonder if Adrian Amos would maybe switch back over to where Jordan Whitehead is at. I think at the strong safety. So Adrian Amos and Chuck Clark could start on that defense, and then Jordan Whitehead would come off the bench. I'm just throwing out maybe that potentially happening, but who knows what's going to happen, because Adrian Amos has been a guy where he's been starting most of his career. He's been playing well. Not only that, but he's been playing really good football. And honestly, I think he most likely should be a starter for New York. You'd probably just be switching back over to a different safety position again. But let's go over his stats from the last couple seasons in Green Bay. I'm not going to really go over his stats in Chicago, maybe his last year in Chicago in 2018, but I'm going to go over his 4 years in Green Bay. So this season in 2022, he played 17 games with 17 starts and 1 interception, where he returned that interception for 26 yards. 5 passes deflected with 1 fumble recovery, 1 sack, 102 tackles with 73 solo tackles, and 7 tackles for loss with 2 QB hits. 2021 with the Packers, 17 games, 17 starts, 2 interceptions, and I don't think he didn't return it for anything. So those 2 interceptions, he didn't return those 2 interceptions for anything. With those 2 interceptions, he had 8 passes deflected, 0 sacks, 93 tackles, 0 tackles for loss. So no tackles for loss, no sacks, nothing. But in 2020 with the Packers, 16 games, 16 starts, 2 interceptions, 47. Those 2 interceptions, he returned it for 47 yards, 9 passes deflected, and he had 0 forced fumbles, or 0 fumble recoveries, and he had 2 sacks with 4 tackles for loss and 3 QB hits. And that was it for 2020. Then 2019, his first year in Green Bay, had 16 games, 16 starts, 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions returned it for 27 yards, 9 passes deflected with 1 fumble recovery. Returned that fumble recovery for 15 yards, had 1 sack, and with that 1 sack, he had 84 tackles and 4 tackles for losses. Last year in Chicago in 2018, had 1 sack with a fumble recovery and 2 interceptions, and that was really it. I mean, he's been really solid throughout his NFL career. He's, not been like star talent, but I think he's been pretty hell of a safety in my opinion. But I think this is a really good signing for the New York Jets. He's been a starter, throughout most of his career. Through most of his 8-year career, he's been a starter. So I think he should probably be a starter for New York next season. But I think it's definitely a really good signing for the New York Jets. We'll see what happens, though. You guys have your thoughts as of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.